Death, where is your sting? From the moment humanity fell, death has cast its long shadow across every generation. But Scripture declares that death is not the end, only a doorway. God has promised something infinitely greater, the resurrection of the dead and the receiving of a glorified, immortal body. This hope is not vague, symbolic, or distant. It is woven through the New Testament as the believer's blessed expectation, the moment when mortality is overwhelmed by divine life. Our earthly body versus our heavenly house. Paul describes our present bodies as a tabernacle, a temporary tent, fragile, aging, burdened. But he doesn't leave us with despair. In 2 Corinthians 5:1-4, he contrasts this temporary dwelling with a building of God, eternal in the heavens. This heavenly body is not just an upgrade, it is a permanent, God-crafted reality. We groan now, not because we wish to be bodiless, but because we long to be clothed with something better, something incorruptible, something fully alive. Paul says that in this coming transformation, mortality will be swallowed up of life. Death does not win, life consumes it. Sown in weakness, raised in power. In 1 Corinthians 15:42-44, Paul reveals the nature of the resurrection body through a powerful analogy, planting a seed. A seed looks small, weak, and unimpressive. But what rises from the earth is transformed. So it is with us, sown in corruption, raised in incorruption, sown in dishonor, raised in glory, sown in weakness, raised in power, sown a natural body, raised a spiritual body. The glorified body is still you, but you as God intended, perfected, immortal, powerful, and no longer subject to sickness, decay, temptation, or death. In a moment, we shall be changed. The resurrection is not only for those who have died. In 1 Corinthians 15:51-54, Paul unveils a mystery. Not all believers will experience physical death, but every believer will undergo transformation. And it will happen, instantly, in the twinkling of an eye, audibly, at the last trump, powerfully. The dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. This moment marks the final defeat of death. When immortality clothes the mortal and incorruptibility replaces decay, Scripture itself is fulfilled. Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? The Spirit who raised Jesus will raise you. The resurrection is not a distant theological idea. It is powered by the very Spirit who raised Christ from the dead. Romans 8:11 declares that the same Spirit who brought life back into the lifeless body of Jesus dwells in you, guaranteeing that he will quicken, make alive your mortal body. This is not metaphor. This is resurrection reality. The redemption of our body. Believers already have the first fruits of the Spirit, a down payment of the future. Yet we still groan, waiting for the final stage of salvation, the redemption of our body. Romans 8:23. This is adoption completed, salvation finished, eternity begun. Look up, your redemption draws near. Jesus told his disciples in Luke 21:28 that when prophetic signs begin to unfold, believers are to lift their heads, not in fear, but in anticipation. The closer the world moves toward chaos, the nearer the moment of resurrection glory. The glorified body is the believer's destiny. Death is not your master. The grave is not your end. Christ's resurrection is your guarantee. One day soon, in a single divine heartbeat, everything weak will become strong, everything temporary will become eternal, and everything mortal will be clothed with immortality. And on that day, with perfect clarity and unshakable joy, we will declare, "Death, where is your sting?